विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो नमस्कार. इयत्ता 11वी इंग्लिश सेक्शन 2 पोएट्री सेक्शन यातील आपण पोएम पाहणार आहोत. द सोअर बाय विक्टर ह्युगो. Victor Hugo, poet, novelist and dramatist of 19th century, was the most important of French romantic writers. Though regarded in France as one of country's greatest poets, he is better known for novels as Notre Dame de Paris 1831 and Les Miserables 1862. Basically, his poem was written in French, and this poem is translated into English by Toru Datta. So Toru Datta, a Bengali poet also known as Toru, wrote in English and French, was born on 4th of the March 1856 in Kolkata. She is considered to be the first Indian poetess to write verses in English and in French language. She translated dozens of poems and completed a novel before her death at the age of 21. Her poems such as Sita, Lotus and Our Casuarina Tree are well loved. The Sower is a translation of Victor Hugo's poem Saison des Semelles Le Sower. It is translated by Toru Datta from French to English. The Sower is a poem about farmer who is sowing seeds. He has seen many bad harvests in his life. However, he is so optimistic of having a good harvest every time he tosses grain. Victor Hugo's Sower. The Sower is a translation of Victor Hugo's French poem. It is translated by Toru Datta from French to English. The Sower is a poem about a farmer who is sowing seeds. He has seen many bad harvests in his life. However, he is so optimistic of having a good harvest every time he tosses grain. The Sower, the central aspect of this poem, and the poet minutely describes his activities in the farm. Now we'll see stanza-wise explanation of this poem. The Sower. Sitting in a porchway cool, sunlight I see dying fast. Twilight hastens on to rule, working hours have well nigh passed. The poet is sitting peacefully in the veranda. He is enjoying the sunset. He describes the presence of twilight. The twilight hastens on to rule. The line suggests the overpower of twilight over the light of the day. It is a time between the day and night. Day is fading and night is approaching. Working hours are well nigh past. This line suggests the time of work in the fields is now over. Soon it is going to be night and dark all around. Shadows run across the lands, but a sower lingers still, old, in rags. He patient stands. Looking on, I feel a thrill. During the twilight, shadows are spreading all around the area. In such time, the poet sees a farmer who is standing alone in the fields. He is staying a bit there, old, in rags. He patient stands. This line gives the appearance of the sower. The sower is old and his clothes are tattered. He is standing peacefully in the field. The poet is so much thrilled to see his calm and peaceful appearance in the field. Black and high, his silhouette dominates the furrows deep. Now to sow the task is set. Soon shall come a time to reap. Since it is a twilight time, everything appears to be blackish. Silhouette is the French word. It means the outline of the sower. The black shadow of the sower is dominating the deep furrows in the fields. Since the sun is setting, the silhouette gradually becomes bigger and bigger. Thus, even the deep furrows seem to be small in front of the sower. Here the human aspect is shown powerful and dominating over the nature. In the next line, now to sow, a time to reap, the farmer is hoping for a good harvest in future. He is sowing and expecting that seeds will grow, the grains will appear, and all his wishes will be fulfilled. Marches he along the plain, to and fro and scatters wide. From his hands the precious grain muse I, as I see him strayed. The poet describes the movement of the farmer and his actions in the field. The poet appears the farmer as marching like a soldier. It shows his strong determination and positive attitudes toward his work. The farmer moves forward and backward, scattering the precious grains, which are both a symbol of prosperity and wealth of future. The grain is called precious grains because each and every grain is important in the life of a farmer. The poet thinks deeply about the sower's hard efforts. Darken deepens, fades the light. Now his gestures to mine eyes are august and strange. His height seems to touch the starry skies. Here the poet describes the night sky. The twilight gradually turns to night. Everywhere the darkness appears. Now the poet speaks about the gestures of the sower. The poet feels the majestic and inspiring image of the sower. The gradual and progressive growth of shadow of the sower reaches the top of the sky. The poet feels reverence to the hard-working farmer. He glorifies the work of the sower and considers his work as noble work. Sower's work gives him such height, importance that he can touch the sky. Let's see an appreciation of the poem. While appreciating the poem, which points are essential? Let's see. About the poem, poet and title. Theme of the poem. Poetic devices, language and style of the poem. Special features of the poem. Values and message from the poem. And finally, your opinion about the poem. The poem Sower is a translated poem from French into English language. It is translated by Toru Datta, who is one of the founding figures of Indo-Anglian literature. She was a literary genius who blended three literary traditions: Indian, English and French. The original poet of this French poem is Victor Hugo. The title of the poem represents the central character of the poem, the sower. The poem is about the poet's observation of the sower, his dedication, his determination and his selfless hard work and contribution. The poet observes the painstaking dedication of the sower and has a deep feeling of reverence for him. The central idea of the poem revolves around all these actions of this sower. The theme of the poem is dedication, perseverance and commitment, and the poet's admiration of the sower's actions as noble and selfless. The farming and the life of a farmer is the major theme of the poem, and the poet gives his feelings for the farmer along with the detailed description about the nature around the farmer. The poetic devices used in this poem are alliteration, antithesis and personification. Shadows run across the lands. In this line, the shadows are given the animate quality of running. This is a narrative poem. The special features of this poem are imagery and symbolism. Descriptive imagery is used in this poem. Marches he along the plain. In this line, the word marches indicates movement and thus creates a visual image in the minds of the readers. The rhyme scheme of the poem is A B A B. The message of the poem is that we all should work selflessly with a positive attitude in life. The tone of the poem is full of optimism and is fresh and appealing. I like the poem for its positive tone and vivid pictorial imagery. The poem subtly highlights the value of commitment, determination, optimism, and selflessness. So friends, this is what the Sower by Victor Hugo. विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, तुम्ही आत्तापर्यंत जर हे चॅनल सबस्क्राइब केलं नसेल तर प्लीज सबस्क्राइब दिस चॅनल. तुम्हाला जर हा व्हिडिओ आवडला असेल सो प्लीज लाईक दिस व्हिडिओ अँड डोंट फॉरगेट टू शेअर दिस व्हिडिओ विथ युअर फ्रेंड्स. तुम्हाला या व्हिडिओबद्दल काही शंका असतील, तुम्हाला काही सूचना द्यायच्या असतील, काही सांगायचं असेल तर तुम्ही कमेंट बॉक्समध्ये मला ह्या सर्व गोष्टी सांगू शकता. आपल्या याच व्हिडिओच्या डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्समध्ये 11th स्टँडर्ड रिलेटेड जेवढे काही व्हिडिओज आहेत तेवढे सर्व व्हिडिओज आणि त्याच्या लिंक्स तुम्हाला डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्समध्ये पाहायला मिळतील. थँक्यू सो मच माय फ्रेंड्स.